This presentation is on the Bank of New York Mellon. There are a couple strategic issues that the Bank of New York Mellon needs to address. One being the instability of personnel. In the past 3 years, the company has had 2 different CEOs at the top, as well as 2 different CEOs at the top of their wealth management division. They need to reassure clients that the company is moving in the right direction, and they need to work to keep valuable, knowledgeable employees at all levels, particularly those in the client-facing roles. They need to work on business growth and revenue increasing. They need to emphasize the cost-basis benefit analysis of what BNY Mellon offers and the quantitative value of their services. They need to increase products and services and change the required minimum assets under management back down to $5 million from the current $10 million. BNY Mellon came to be through a merger in 2007 with 2 of the oldest financial institutions. Alexander Hamilton founded the Bank of New York in 1784. Interestingly enough, in 1792, with the opening of the New York Stock Exchange, the Bank of New York became the first company to be traded. And in 1804, after the infamous duel between Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr, at Hamilton's death, his wife established the very first trust account for her and her children at the Bank of New York. In 1869, Thomas Mellon founded what eventually became known as Mellon National Bank and Trust Company in Pittsburgh. BNY Mellon's vision is improving lives through investing. Their mission is helping people realize their full potential by leveraging their distinctive expertise to power investment success. Their values are: our purpose rests on 4 core values and our shared commitment to living these values each and every day, which include client focus, integrity, teamwork, and excellence. They also have a core focus on doing what's right and place an emphasis on corporate social responsibility. This slide and the next is a look at the CEO and the executive team. The current CEO is Todd Gibbons, who was appointed the interim CEO just last month after the unexpected resignation of Charlie Scaife. Charlie had taken the helm just 2 years ago. The Wealth Management Division, which is where I work, also has a relatively new head. Catherine Keating took her position in July of 2018 after Don Heberly stepped down in March of 2018, having only taken his position in July of 2015. Bank of New York Mellon is made up of 2 separate branches. First being investment services, which is asset servicing, Pershing, issuer services, treasury services, clearance, and collateral management. The other branch is investment management, which is asset management and wealth management. Wealth management is investing, growing assets while minimizing risk and preserving wealth. It is estimated that approximately $75 trillion of assets under management are held in the industry. Approximately 60% of that belongs to institutional investors such as Mellon, or $45 trillion. Wealth managers incorporate financial planning with tax services, help clients target retirement needs, and provide estate planning. They manage IRAs, investment management accounts, and trust accounts. They generate fees off of the services they provide for their clients. There are a couple of key drivers in the industry, including investment return performance, customer service, revenues, and technological advances. The 5 forces that pose potential threats out there in the industry are as follows. Threats of new entrants is at a moderate level. BNY Mellon was created with the merger of 2 highly successful and 2 of the oldest financial institutions. There are a number of financial institutions that dominate the industry. A large amount of capital would be needed to break into the industry, There's a lot of government and legal regulations and red tape required to set up shop. The availability of other products to manage and purchase for customers is relatively easy to obtain. Second, the bargaining power of buyers is at a low level. The buyers are individual people or other institutions. Because they act alone and not together, they don't have a lot of bargaining power. If they are not happy with their fees, they can change service providers at any time. Loss of a few clients to Mellon or others would not hurt them. There's a low cost associated with the buyers moving to another institution. Threat of substitute products or services is high. There are a number of smaller companies out there that can meet the needs of the current customers of the bank. It might take more than one company to meet all their needs, but it's possible. As technology grows, there is a growing threat of more substitute services that can meet their needs. There is not a substitute for the products BNY Mellon offers, just for the services they offer, but the products can be purchased through other means. Bargaining power of suppliers is low. Suppliers' profit is directly linked to BNY Mellon and others buying their services throughout their pricing, although their pricing has to be reasonable in order to continue doing business with them. In wealth management, they purchase different mutual funds, bonds, and stocks. Some of the mutual funds are owned by the entities themselves. Therefore, the number of outside mutual funds are limited, thereby giving them the ability to charge higher fees to BNY Mellon and others. The rivalry among existing competitors is high. Some of the products and services that BNY Mellon offer are in high competition with rivals. The Wealth Management Division has a number of high and very successful competitors such as JP Morgan and Bank of America, and there are a number of small ones as well. It's relatively easy for a client or customer to change competitors, and there's a little service difference between the various options for clients or customers. The competitive analysis. It's a very high rivalry. There are a number of competitors in the industry. JP Morgan, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Schwab, Vanguard are just a few of the many options. Some of their competitors. JP Morgan earned $109 million in revenue in 2018. They had $677 billion in assets under management. Bank of America earned $28 million in 2018, having $1.25 trillion in assets under management. Bank of New York Mellon had $240 billion in assets under management. Their profit margin in 2018 was 25%, which was down from 26% in 2017. Their total revenue in 2018 was $16 million with a net income of $4 million. Their net income growth rate for the last 4 years was as follows. 2018, they were down to 4.74, having been at 15.75 in 2017. Bank of America had a profit margin of 31% in 2018, up from 20% in 2017. They had a revenue of $87 million with a net income of $18 million in 2018. Their income growth rate for the last 4 years, 2018 it was up to 54.38, having been at 2.30 in 2017. JP Morgan Chase had a profit margin in 2018 of 30%, up from 24% the previous year. They had a total revenue of $109 million with net income of $32 million. Their net income growth rate for the last 4 years, in 2018, they were at 33.14, having been at a negative 1.03 the year before. The Bank of America leads the way when it comes to revenue for the two companies. They have a higher profit margin than the other two. These numbers are based on the overall performance of the company, not just their wealth management departments. Both Bank of America and JP Morgan have retail banking divisions, which is what leads to them having higher numbers overall than the Bank of New York Mellon. There's a couple different factors here to look at. From the political aspect, we have government regulations on the banking industry. Also, government regulations on investment accounts, IRAs, IMAs, trust accounts, and the like. They have tax rules and regulations to worry about, the political climate of a specific time. International politics also play a role. Economic factors are several, including current bull market plays a huge role in the wealth management day-to-day operation. Current economics analysts are predicting a recession in 2021, which will have a huge factor on wealth management operations. Sociocultural, educational level of the population is a factor to look at. More savvy and educated people may opt for newer boutique companies where they have a bigger say in their investments. Age and cultural influences also makes a difference. Technological factors include automation, capabilities of competitors from a technological standpoint that BNY Mellon might not have. Ecological, we have automation playing a role in cutting down on the use of paper. Consolidation of services would cause shrinkage of office space, which means you wouldn't need to have as many buildings and build new buildings. Technology also plays a role. Legal factors include KYC and right to know laws play a huge role in client development, antitrust laws, international law, estate and trust and legal case outcomes play a role in wealth management, as well as privacy laws and the SEC rules. Core competency analysis. Here you can see that the team aspect of BNY Mellon's wealth management is a valuable one, as it includes investment advice, tax advice, financial planning, estate planning, and banking services under just one fee. The services provided are not rare. All of the competitors have these services. However, these services are costly to imitate because traditionally you would pay for each service separately, which adds up. BNY Mellon's wealth management structure is organized so that these services are ready and available to exploit, so to capture value for the customers. SWOT analysis. Strengths of the company include presence in over 35 countries. They're the world's largest custodian bank. Complete wealth management teams are available for all client needs. Weaknesses include $10 million minimum for new clients. Revenue comes mainly from custodian and investment management services, and no retail banking division. Opportunities include expansion into new markets could improve revenue, growth of private banking services for wealth clients, and growing technology options for clients. Threats include federal regulation in the banking industry, potential recession being predicted for 2021, stiff competition in the wealth management industry. BNY Mellon's 2018 annual report states, our strategy includes expanding our client base, increasing product offerings, and better aligning certain business activities with market demand. Successful realization of our strategy requires that we provide expertise and insight through market-leading solutions that drive economies of scale while developing highly talented people and protecting our financial strength and stability. We understand and meet market and client expectations with suitable products and offerings that are financially viable and leverageable and that integrate into our business model.